Does your E30 feel like this when you're driving down the road? Well, today we're going to fix that problem and we're going to install some new rear subframe bushings. This is Sabine, our 1991 BMW 325i race car, and she needs some new rear subframe bushings. There are a number of ways of removing a stock rear subframe bushing. You can use an air chisel, a hammer and screwdriver to pound them out, or you can use a bushing removal puller. And although fire is cool, do not burn them out. Now in our race car, we have these old worn out urethane bushings that we need to remove. So these are actually a little bit easier, but it just takes some patience. To remove these old urethane bushings, we're going to pull them out. They come out in two pieces by using a screwdriver to pry up the lip and then pull out the top piece. Then we'll repeat the same process on the bottom. Alright, this is where you have to have a lot of patience and just go slowly. Use two screwdrivers and just start to move slowly around the lip to get some space, and eventually it'll pop up. And sometimes you have to use something a little bit bigger like a pry bar, but be patient and eventually the bushing will pull right out. Now the bottom bushing, sometimes you can just push it right out, which is what we tried. Sometimes you can put a little bit of lubricant down between it and the wall of the subframe. Now unfortunately this didn't work for us, so we had to resort to getting a hammer and a punch to punch out the bottom bushing. Now on the subframe itself, there's these little bumps that you'll need to align the bushing with, the new bushing, as you install it. So our friends at Powerflex USA sent us this kit from their Black Series, which is their race bushings. We use these Black Series bushings all over the car and it's really tightened up the suspension. Now the kit comes with two main bushings, two end caps, and two metal spacers. It also comes with a tube of grease to make installation a snap. Now on our race car we have adjustable rear camber and toe bolts, so we need to make some room for them, so we're going to slightly modify these bushings, but you won't have to do that if you're installing these on a stock car. To modify the bushing, we're just going to cut a little bit off the flange to make room for the adjustment bolts. Quick pro tip, put the bushing kit in the freezer a couple hours before installing it. Everything will shrink slightly and it's a lot easier to push the bushings in. And as you can see, it's a huge improvement over the old worn out urethane bushings. As we mentioned earlier, these little grooves will fit over these little bumps in the subframe. Once we have everything aligned, we're going to simply just tap them into place. Take some of the grease that came with the kit and liberally lubricate the outside of the bushing. Now, if you've modified it like we have, make sure that the flat part is pointing towards your adjustment bolts. Get it started, making sure that you line up the grooves with the bumps. We just used a block of wood and a hammer and lightly tapped them into place. Keep tapping until the underside of the flange bottoms out on the subframe. And as you can see, this is the space that we created by modifying the bushing. Next, take the metal spacer and we're going to be pressing it into the middle. So lubricate the outside with the grease that's supplied with the kit. Place the metal spacer in the bushing, and again use a piece of wood and a hammer and lightly tap it into place, and it should bottom out on the top of the bushing. As you can see here, the steel bushing still is not flush with the top. So take your wooden block and keep hitting it until it's flush. Next, we'll want to put on the end caps. This is pretty simple. All we have to do is align it and then hit it with a block just like we did the top piece. Start by lubricating the inside with the grease. That'll make it much easier to go on. Simply place the bushing on the end, get it nice and square, place a wood block over the top, and gently tap on to install. Once the end of the bushing is installed, make sure it's flush, then flip over the subframe and tap in the bushing to make sure it's flush with the top. And here's the subframe installed on the car. As you can see, the cut that we put into the top bushing now gives us plenty of room to get a wrench in to adjust our suspension.